So I am Dan Robbins. I'm the principal here at the Early College and Career Center out there in the hall when you all are coming in and sign in. That's our guidance counselor, Miss Christy Wright. So as part of this program, students will find one of the immediate benefits is that they now have 2 principals and they now have 2 guidance counselors. And so we take a very hands-on approach for your student. If you ask any of our students involved in our academy program over the last 2 years, they will tell you that we know each and every one of them by name, can probably tell you what their college major is going to be, where they're going to college, and things like that. So we will take that same interest in your students. On that list right now, I know there's about 130 of students that have applied. And officially, right now, we're sitting at about half of you have made the benchmark scores to be fully accepted. I know that several of you are on the border, maybe that you have 2 benchmarks and you're missing 1. And so I'm going to make sure that I give you information tonight to help you figure out what it is that we need to do to get you there to be in the program. We are recording this session, so if you have a friend that was not able to make it, we will make sure the video is available on YouTube through our HCEC channel. And if you want to go back and watch something or listen to something again because you were not sure what I said or because I talk really fast, then feel free to go back and watch that. So I'm going to go ahead and treat everybody here in the same sense as that everyone is in, right? So as I talk about everything, I'm talking about in the sense that you've already made it. We're in, and so it is now time for the next steps. So if you start turning the page, the first thing that I have to have everybody do as an accepted student into this program is to get a KCTCS ID. Now, some of you are already in a dual credit class in your home high school. And maybe that dual credit class is an ECTC class. And if so, you probably already have your KCTCS ID number. You probably just need to locate it. But if this will be your first attempt at dual credit, all of your classes you're taking, you will need to apply for college just like any other student would after graduation. But you're going to do that now, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. It will probably take you about 10 minutes in total to fill it out. Parents, please have your student do this, okay? You're going to find out that I am very pro have your student do it, okay? I know that moms and dads want to do things for their kids, okay? But please help your student, don't do it for them, okay? Because they're going to have a lot of things that they're going to need your help with, and they're going to have a lot of things that they do not want you to do for them. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and start letting them get out of the nest and start doing some things on their own. So you can help them get started with this. But this application, honestly, will just take a few minutes to do, and all you do is go to the ECTC website, and if I was just pulling up a computer and I did a Google search and I typed in ECTC, I click on the home page, or even from here, I could click admissions, and we begin the application process. What information do you have to complete that? Very basic. Name, address, such. They will need to know their social security number. So if you have not shared that with your child, you will need to share that with them. And they will complete their student application. They will tell them that they are a high school student and will ask what high school you are in. So you tell the high school. Okay, if you start to look on there for Early College and Career Center, that is not your high school. That is just a building that you take classes. Okay, so make sure that you understand that. All of you will graduate high school from your high school that you are in attendance now. That's where you will graduate. You are just coming to EC3 just as you would walk to the gym for a PE class. You're coming to EC3 for these classes. All right? So complete that process. Get your KCTCS ID number. We will do a sometime probably either late this summer and actually we may end up doing it early in the fall once we start school, where students have to set up a self-service account. That is something that we will walk your student through, but that is something that you as a parent want to know how they get into it. Because from the student self-service account, that is where you will pay their bill, okay? And that is an important part that will have to take place. And so if you call me and say, how do I pay their bill? I'm going to tell you, have your student log into their self-service account and pull up their tuition, and then you can pay it from there. We'll go ahead and turn the page real quick so I can start talking about a couple things. You'll see this page right here that's on the back. We'll wait for that for just a moment. We'll come back to it. But this page here at the very top, I have our remind. That remind is for you. It is for your child. It is for any other adult in your house that you want to also have control. Please sign up. I send a lot of messages via this. And I know some parents have been asking, well, I just found out yesterday or maybe even 2 hours ago that this meeting was happening. Well, because I communicate with your child. Okay? And so I will communicate with you as well via this remind. Or if you email me or call it, that I can do that as well. But I will send out a lot of things in this. And so I know my watch is going to start buzzing like crazy now because I know a lot of you are signing up, and that's fantastic. Please do that. I can send individual messages to you as well on there. And sometimes I do that. If I need to say, hey, I want to just let you know your kid is not doing so well in their math class right now, I do that as well. So understand, sometimes I do that, and I know it comes across as a text message, but it tracks all of our conversation, and it's really nice for us to use. So please make sure you sign up for that. Have your child sign up for that, because I do sometimes just send messages to students. For instance, today, our juniors were scheduling for their freshman or their senior year over on campus, and they were in the building, and instead of me making announcements and calling students down, I was sending reminds. And so I send it just to the students. So understand that sometimes I send messages to just them, and sometimes I send it to the whole group. All right, so a couple of things on how we operate here and how this program will work. One little housekeeping thing is about parking tags. So I know a lot of our students will want to drive to EC3 for this program, and we encourage it. If you're a driver, that's fine. We do regulate that you have to have your home high school pass, and then you have to then get our pass. Now, your home high school pass, whatever your school charges for that, we don't control. But we do charge a $5 deposit. And all right, we take a deposit for your parking pass so that students can drive here. At the end of your year, you will turn that pass back in, and we will give you back your $5. We're not trying to make money off of you. We just need to be accounted for. So we have a lot of students, because of how we operate during our day, that travel to and from school. And so it's something our district, when we first built 5 years ago, that we wanted to make sure that we had some liability coverage in there. And so we just ask that you all do that. Okay? So school day and calendar. Your student in this program will operate on kind of a mixed schedule. So all of your college classes operate on a semester. Okay? So traditional start in August, end early December. But they're in a trimester schedule that our high school operates in. All of their classes, their college level courses, will operate on a semester basis. So when the classes start August 19th, they will end December 15th. Now, if any of you have paid attention to our calendar, you know the first day of school next year is what? Anyone know? August 8th. So you're thinking, well, August 8th, yes. You have 7 days that you will start school with us prior to your classes starting. Now, your English and math teachers in this program are hired by Hardin County. So we will probably start English and math earlier than August 19th. But your other classes will start when your professors arrive on August 19th. So understand that. Now, being that we're in this blended schedule, when you have fall break, Hardin County Schools, you will have fall break. Okay? We are not forcing you to come in and say, your professors are here, you better come into class. No. Now, your professors may still give you assignments and things that you have to do on the beach, wherever you may get lucky to go, or if you're sitting at home, because ECTC only takes off 2 days for fall break. So there's a little bit of the difference. And I'll talk a little bit as we transition from next year, your junior year, to what your senior year looks like. But for now, just understand that you still operate within the Hardin County Schools calendar. So when we cancel for snow, you don't have class. Okay? For the classes that are all here in our building. For your professors that come to this building, you will not have class if Hardin County Schools is not in session. Okay? Now, our teachers, like I said, my English and math teacher are Hardin County School employees, so they can extend a little bit, and so they might start a little bit before August 19th, and they may go longer than December 15th. I think that we're in school until December 20-something, okay? But typically what happens is you're done with your college classes, And then now you have some free time between the end of your semester and the end of Hardin County schools. You show up every day. You are here. So I think that some students start to think, well, I'm in this early college program, so when my classes are done, I leave? No, you do not. You are still here. And we'll talk about what that schedule looks like because our students benefit from that schedule. Students still arrive here like our normal students. You're still here by 8:40. You can use the bus transportation to get here. It's perfectly fine to do so. Our class will start for you at 9 o'clock. That is your first college class. So we operate again on a college schedule. So you might have a Monday, Wednesday class that goes from 9 till 10:15, and that class only meets on Monday, Wednesday, even the ones that are taught by our Hardin County school teachers. Or then you might have a class that's on Tuesday, Thursday, 10:30 to 11:45. But that's how we operate on it. So it's a college schedule. So I know a lot of parents, they kind of remember what college, it hadn't been too long ago, right? So you remember that you had classes on certain days of the week. Some of the days of the week you didn't have class. Maybe the professor even canceled. Who knows, right? But for us, our professors are typically here almost all the time, and you will have class during those sessions. Now, what happens after 11:45? Well, we have lunch. Our lunch lines are open for our students. They do serve over here. They have a lot of variety now. So you eat lunch. We have our commons area out, and our students have time just to relax, breathe a little bit after their college classes. Then a lot of times they get together and they use that time to study. So now our students have a choice whether they choose to stay here in the afternoon. That means your typical 4th and 5th period classes, whether you choose to stay here or you choose to go back to your home high school. We have a lot of students that stay. We have a lot of students that go back. Let's say that you are an athlete and you want to take a weightlifting class. That's perfectly fine. That's a great class to have in the afternoon. You go back and you have that class. So our buses still leave here at 12:40. That's the end of our 3rd period class. So our students can go back for 4th and 5th period. So you would still have from 11:45 until 12:40 to have your lunch, to have some time to relax, to maybe catch up with some friends on some studying and things like that, maybe some group projects you may be working on, and still you have to go back. Now, we do have a lot of students that choose to stay here at 12:40, and they just stay and they use that time to study. Some students use that time to take other classes here at EC3. Maybe you're in one of our pathway programs, you can choose to do that. The option is yours, and so that will kind of be something that we'll hit later that I'll need to make sure from you all if those are things that you still need to take care of. We have some students that in their mind they're thinking, there's no way whatsoever I want to be removed from my high school for the next 2 years. Like I can't fathom that. I want to be connected. And so some students choose to go back to their home high school to take some elective courses. Sometimes they set up a study hall period for them and they go back to their high school to do that. If that's the choice that you want to make, that's fine. If you want to just do it for one trimester, but then the next trimester come back here and stay, that's fine as well. Remember, you're on that blended schedule of college classes on a semester and your high school classes on a trimester. Okay? We allow you to do those types of things. So what happens with some of that free time that we have? So we do have opportunities for students for service projects. Service project is something that all of our students in our academy program get involved in. It is their choice what they choose to do for their service project. We have some students that are working with some local nonprofit organizations in the community. We have some that are maybe working for some schools. We have some that are doing a group. We have a group called iLead here at EC3 that are working with our middle school leadership group. So we have several opportunities for students to explore, but the service project is something that they will do. It is something just for them to kind of find out how to give back to the community in a sense. Some students do take advantage of doing some shadowing, some different places of employment. And a lot of times when we do that, that happens during, so our classes end on December 15th and we're still in class for another week. We may have students do some job shadowing doing that next week. So instead of just sitting, they don't have a lot of things to do, they may do some job shadowing. So we arrange that with each individual student and we'll talk with them a little bit more about that as we get closer to it and the year starts. We do also take the opportunity to visit colleges. So thus far in this school year, we've been to U of L, we've been to WKU, we've been to, let's see, we're going to UK. We had that scheduled, and they come back on that. We're looking at Lindsey Wilson, Campbellsville. We try to make some visits around for the colleges to see our kids, to give them opportunity to recruit our students, and for our students to see what those campuses are like and what college life is like a little bit there. So we do that as well as a group. If you or your student wanted to go travel and do some of those things on your own, absolutely you can do that. All right, so let me talk a little bit now, try to transition into academics and what it looks like. So all of the classes that your student takes will be on a college grading scale. So typically in college, it may be like, as far as a percentage, a 90 to 100 is an A. Some professors don't even list it out like that. They may say you need 352 points to get an A. So the students will actually have to just pay attention to what the syllabus says for that class to understand what the A looks like. And I know A's are very important to students. They all want to know, how can I get an A? How can I get an A? Because that's what they're accustomed to now. I understand that. So the students will just need to understand, look at the syllabus, read it, follow exactly what it says to know how they get the grade that they want to get. The high school courses that are, the courses that are taught by our high school staff, they follow a high school grading scale. Now, we still make sure, because of the way that the college works, that at the end, the student gets the benefit. So let me talk to you about what that looks like. An A in college is an A. No one ever knows if you have a 90 or if you have a 99. The college reports the letter grade. It is an A. So we've actually done some work in our district with this, and our district is making the move to kind of mirror what we're doing. But if your student earns an A for that class, the college reports to us the A. On their high school transcript, they get a 100. Okay? If your student earns a B in that college class, on your high school transcript, your student will earn a 91. So we give them the highest grade for that class. All right? So our goal in all of that is, again, is to help our students. The students get the benefit. You're taking a dual credit college level course. You get an A, we're going to give you the highest A that there is. Because it doesn't matter at the end what percentage, because your A is a 92 and this person's A is a 96, it's still an A. It doesn't matter. Okay? So I know that comes into play because everyone starts to worry about ranking. You know? And that question happens all the time. Well, my kid took dual credit and honors and AP all year long, and they're getting A's, and this kid over here took PE and this or whatever that, and they're getting A's, and that kid's ranked higher than mine. This is how we fix it. So that's what we've done in our district. We've been doing it at EC3, and now our district has jumped on board, so we're very happy about that. Now, the one thing that gets thrown out, because I know a lot of students are really excited about attendance points, there are no attendance points in your college classes. Okay? Now, your college professors may have ways to grade for attendance, and they may be taking daily participation and things like that, and they could probably find a lot of ways for you to suffer if you're not in class, but they are not giving you points for just showing up. Okay, so understand that will be thrown out the door. Here's the next thing I think that everyone always wants to know. My college professor versus my high school teacher. Okay? And I want to make sure that everyone understands this is not a, tear down your high school teacher by any means, because this is me. This is who I am as well. In my high school classes, I teach high school students, and it's very easy for me to say, oh, let me give you an extra, you came in, your dog ate your computer, and yeah, okay, well, let me help you out a little bit, turn it in tomorrow. We do that as high school teachers. I'm so much more lenient, and I still am probably as a high school teacher, but I teach college classes as well, and I'm not lenient at all in my college classes. If my due date says 10 p.m. and you try to submit something at 10:01, I'm not taking it. So understand that your college professors are going to hold you to a much higher standard, and though they do want to get to know you and do want to have a relationship with you, whatever the deadline says, that's what it means. So if you are a procrastinator, I could not sit in your shoes, right? I could tell you I could not have done that. Okay? Then you're going to have to break that habit now. Because procrastination will take you from being an A student to being a C student really quick in this program, because things catch up to you. And that's not to scare you, that's just reality. Okay? So understand that there is a difference between your college professors and your high school teachers. Now, dual credit scholarship, everyone always wants to know, okay, let's talk about how my money plays into this. So every student in the state of Kentucky and they just pass, they continue to pass our law, they keep it going, have the dual credit scholarship made available to them. The dual credit scholarship allows every student in the state of Kentucky to get 2 free college classes during their tenure of high school. Not 2 a year, okay, 2 in total. So every single student in this program will have 2 free classes. Now, there is kind of a little game that you play with those classes. In this program, every one of our students will take a science with a lab. Those science with labs are 4 credit hours. Our credit hours costs per money. So per credit hour costs a certain amount of money. So when we take your dual credit scholarship, we apply it to your science and your lab because that's 1 class. Okay, and then we apply it to another one. Now, if you're taking multiple sciences and labs and you wanted to use it on that, that's perfectly fine as well. But we play the game a little bit, and we make sure that we try to help you as a parent and as a student to get the benefit from the dual credit scholarship that the state of Kentucky offers. Now, students continue to earn KEYS money in this program. The one bad part is you cannot use KEYS money to pay for these classes. So you will continue to earn your KEYS money for the next 2 years. But here's the really nice part about KEYS money. Every B is an A in KEYS money in this program. Every A is like a 5 and a 4.0 scale for KEYS money. So if your GPA coming into this program was sitting maybe like at a 3.4, 3.5, and you're like, I've taken some tough classes, and then you get all A's all the way through this, you will max out your KEYS money. So that's how you save it. So I tell students this all the time, be prepared because you might get a B. But when it comes to KEYS money, it's still an A. So, because typically people, that's what they care about. Well, tell me what it means for the money. Well, for the money, you still have an A. So that's the good part. So understand, you know, if you're faced with the tragedy of receiving a B, that at least your money is still safe, okay? Blackboard, okay? Have anybody ever heard of Blackboard? Yeah, so I know you have, Connor. The Blackboard is the student module that probably, I would say, 90% of the professors use, not all of them. Blackboard is where they will post announcements, where they will post assignments, where they will post videos, where they will send in, and you know, here's an extra assignment, here's some bonus points. I'm just joking, no bonus points. But they'll post those things to Blackboard. If you wanted to see how well your student was doing, you say, open up your Blackboard, show me. Don't let them tell you, oh, I can't, my teacher doesn't post anything. That's probably not true. Like I said, 90% of them use Blackboard. So I say all that because parents, don't let your child pull the wool over your eyes, okay? And if you wonder about it, just send me a message. Come on in, sit down, I'll pull your student in. We can pull up their grades right there in front of you, okay? I have no problem doing it, okay? But you should be actively involved. I am a parent myself, and I stay very involved in my kids' grades academically. My wife will tell you that in this case now with our oldest daughter that she doesn't like it because she doesn't know as much is going on because I've taken on that role for her. But don't step back and just say, yeah, you've got it. You're mature enough. You've got it now. Don't do it, okay? We have some parents that have made that mistake, and if I could have them come in and tell you, they'll tell you they've made the mistake. But they're jumping back on board and they're helping to fix it. Okay, because our students are still teenagers and they're still going to do teenage things and they're going to think, oh, I'll get it done tomorrow, and they won't. And then the deadline is passed and then they don't know how they're going to make up that, you know, the points for the assignment because the teacher doesn't give bonus and I don't know what to do and oh my gosh, the world has just ended. So we're going to be there to pick them up when that happens. So just understand that Blackboard is the way that you can find out information. Now, every one of your students, there is FERPA that's out there. It's kind of the Educational Rights to Privacy Act. So your student, as a teenager living in your house, and you pay all the bills. Yes, it's their information. Okay, I'm sorry. That's just the way it works because the college treats them as high school students. Now, there is a way on their student self-service that they can click a button and they can put in like a secret password that you can tell them what to put in, and that way they can call this college and find out all they want about you. Okay, I encourage, we sit down with our students when we do self-service, they will all do that. So just understand that if your student won't show you and you want to know, then I can help you get it. This college has to tell me everything. They have to. It's kind of crazy, right? You're saying that you can find out more information about my kid in the college program? Yes, I'm sorry. They will tell me everything, and if you don't have access to it, they will tell you nothing except for drop a check off. We'll take it. Okay? So just understand that that's just part of it, parents, but that's a little parenting that you'll have to take care of at home, and understand that your student will show you those types of things, and I'll be sure to encourage that as well. Email, remind, please, again, I can't say it enough to make sure that you sign up for that. Email is a great way to communicate with me as well. The other thing is just overall communication. So your kids are very busy. I understand that. They're not just students. They're athletes. They have band. They have choir. They have projects that they work on outside. Maybe they're in the Boy Scouts or whatever. I know that they do all of these different things. And there's going to be times and instances that maybe your child is sick or has to miss class for whatever reason. Your child is going to have to learn that they communicate with their professors like they would a job. They call in, they send an email, that they have to communicate. They don't just miss and then 3 days later go to the professor and be like, oh yeah, I wasn't here on Monday. And the professor is going to be like, sorry, you didn't communicate ahead of time. So we work with the school and we try to do our best to kind of gain all that information on the front end. So if our kids are in football and their team makes it to state and they have to leave school early, we try to communicate those things with the professors for them, but that doesn't alleviate them from the communication. They just know that we're trying to help with that process as well. So just understand that the communication is a big deal that we try to pass on to our kids to use. So courses that students will take next year as a high school junior. Our students will take 12 to 15 college credit hours during each semester. Now our goal is always that students will take 15, because if you take 15 every semester, that's how you get to 60 and that's how you earn your associate's degree. Obviously that's a big reason I think that a lot of students are wanting to do it. But reality does set in a little bit. 2 years ago, our current seniors right now, we had 46 students join this program, 46. Half of them are getting their associates. Okay, half. Right now we have 76 juniors in this program, and I bet you about half of them get their associates. I'm hoping for more. And then you might ask, so why? Why don't they get their associates? Well, somewhere along the way, students may not take 15 hours because of their schedule they have. Maybe it's because of their sports, maybe it's because of personal issues, I don't know. They might not take the full 15. When they get to their senior year, we don't mandate that they take 15 or even we just tell them to take 12. So we have some students then that do that. They start off with 15 or maybe they start off with even 18 and then they have to drop some for academic reasons. There is no dropping during the junior year. You're not allowed to drop. You get the grade you get. Okay? In their senior year, because they have some more flexibility, we do work on drops if they have to. But understand, it's still, again, you're paying for the classes. If they have to drop a class, you have to sign off on it. No student will ever drop a class without you. But during the junior year, we don't drop. Okay? But if you take a look at the courses that are listed on here, students will take college algebra. That is why we have the benchmark of 22 for the ACT. Every student must take college algebra. Now there may be some students in here that are already taking college algebra. I understand that. That's great. So you will probably take trig next year. If you come in and say, well, I've done both, college algebra and trig, well, great. Then you'll probably take statistics, or you may then venture into calculus. So we'll take a look at that with you. We do have some individuals that have some schedules that are not in what we consider cohorts of our academy. We work on that with the individual student. But the goal is that every student must take a math course every year in Kentucky. So typically, most of our students take college algebra. They will take English 101. That is their college writing course. Now we've made a little bit of a change to this. Our current juniors took 101 and are taking 102 now. And then so next year, as a high school student, they have to do something else for their English high school credit. But we're changing it up for you all. So you'll take 101 as a junior, and you'll take 102 as a senior. If you think you might be an English literature major, then you might do 101 and 102 your junior year, and we'll let you take like a literature-based course or something like that your senior year. But we'll work that out with those that need it. Okay? Public speaking. Public speaking is a course that has to be fulfilled for EC3 graduation, so it is on our plan. Public speaking is also just a great course for students to have in general. So it is kind of nice how the students will take them. Again, they're taking a public speaking class with several friends that they'll have in there, and you're giving your speeches. And so if that frightens you, you'll get over it pretty quick. Okay? It's better to do it here with a lot of people that you know versus being in a college level course and you're looking around and you don't know anybody in that course. The History 109 course, that is our U.S. history. That is, again, mandatory for the state of Kentucky that students take U.S. history to their junior year. So you will take History 109. The next course that we have on the next column over here is our art or music. This is the arts and humanities credit for high school. Now, some people here may say, I've already taken the arts and humanities for high school. I've gotten it taken care of. That's great. Well, you still need arts and humanities for college. So we take Art 108 or the music class. Psychology and sociology. So though you do have to take 2 categorical classes in social behavioral sciences, those are 2 classes that we have found for students to have high success. So we have our students to take those. The next is your science. So all depending on what major you want, what you're looking to do one day, will depend on what science course that you want. So we have a lot of students here that are doing medical, maybe even like the nursing track, and so they take anatomy. We have a lot of students here that are thinking engineering, and so they do chemistry. We have a lot of students here that are saying, I want nothing to do with any of that, and so they might just take biology. So yes, you all taking biology right now in high school, right? So this is basically just like another level of biology. It's a little bit harder. Okay, there is a lab that you have to do, but it still fulfills your 3 years of science credit, so woohoo to that. But if you want to take more science classes, you can choose to do so on top of that. So that's kind of the basics behind it. We do fill in some gaps. Now, the one class I didn't talk about was the FYE 105 class. So last year, all of our students took FYE, and they actually took it during the summertime. It was a summer class that they took. It was online. It was a great class for them because it's called first year experience. That's what FYE stands for. And so it really helped the students to get to know Blackboard. They got, taught them about things on campus and some resources, the learning lab. They did talk about some career choices and things as well. But we were able to offer that to our students because the college paid for it. I still like it as a great class, but it is one that the college will not allow us to reduce the tuition on unless they pay for it. But they haven't told me yet that they're going to pay for it. So, with that being said, I will not force our students into taking the class if the college will, 1, not discount it, or 2, not give it to us for free. So I'm waiting. So I know probably a lot of you are sitting there saying, please say no, because that will mean that you'll have to take a summer class. Okay? And people ask why. Well, if you want into this program, that's the last hurdle for you. Now, 95% of our students got A's in those courses. Okay? Another 4% got B's, and there was 1% that got a C in that. It is not a hard course, but it does require some work. So we'll cross that bridge if we have to, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there. So then I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about your senior year, because I told you all would talk a little bit about that. So your senior year, the rule is that every student must take math and English. So we continue to offer math and English here, but you do not have to take it with our English and math professors. You can choose to take on campus over there. Now, a lot of our students, like I said, you'll take 102 your senior year. Ms. Corbin teaches that class. You'll be in great shape with her. Or if you want to take it on campus, that's up to you. We typically have a higher success rate academically with our English and math with our students. All right? So your senior year is very different than your junior year. Your junior year, again, remember I told you operate on the Hardin County Schools calendar. So anytime we don't have school, you don't have school. But during your senior year, you operate on ECTC's calendar. So there is no more that I can email your professor and say, hey, sorry, they're not going to be here for fall break because they're going to Disney World. That just doesn't happen. Okay, so when you go into your senior year, You were on EC3's calendar. So remember earlier when I said they only get 2 days of fall break? Welcome to your senior year. Spring break, they get a spring break, but they had it like 2 weeks ago when we were like 32 degrees. So they had spring break. So understand they still get one, but it's not on the Hardin County Schools calendar. Now, that becomes a little bit of the game you have to play. Our teachers here, if you're taking English and math with us and you decided you're going somewhere on spring break because EC3 is off, well, our English and math professors just say, let us know, let's talk through it. And they work it out with you, and you go enjoy your spring break, you know, and they'll take care of the things when you get back. So our professors here, they're not going to, you know, hound you for those types of things as long as you are communicating. Okay, but understand that that schedule becomes very different. So if your senior year, you choose to have a schedule where you only have classes on Monday, Wednesday, and you don't have classes on Tuesday, Thursday, no one is requiring you to step into our building on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay? Parents, I want to make sure that you understand that for their senior year. You want to know if they're in class? I hope you have Life 360. Okay? Seriously, because if I'll just tell you, I don't even work for the company. If you don't have Life 360 on your kid, go ahead and get it. Okay, you need to know where your kid is. But I do that a lot. I've had some kids where we make visits to campus. Okay, I make visits over to campus, and I'll just pull 4 or 5 kids' schedules. I print them out, and I walk over to campus. I'll walk into JSO and room 115 and look in there and say, where are they at? They're not in there. And then I go to my messages and I send a reminder and say, stop by class today to talk to you. You weren't in there. And I send that message to mom and dad as well. Okay, so the best way to be successful in college is just show up. It's just like a job, right? I mean, just show up and you're going to continue to probably get a paycheck. I hate to say that, but there's a lot of places like that. You want to be successful in college, show up. So this is when we have our biggest trouble with our seniors right now, this semester. I have to go to campus at least a day a week. I'm over there spending some time on there, checking on kids. All right. But again, I'm not just taking the role for you all as parent. I'll share it a little bit with you, but you know, you'll need to make sure that your kid's going to class as well. But it becomes very different. And so when we end on May, I think they're like the 10th or the 11th this semester. When they end, they're done. They'll show up for graduation practice. Okay? So that's a little harder for parents to understand. Now, during their senior year, if they meet the associate's degree and they earn all of that, and they choose to walk in EC3's graduation, that is a choice. They do not have to. They can still earn their associates and not walk in their ceremony. The only thing that EC3 asks for them to do is to get a cap and gown that EC3 offers. So you can't wear your high school cap and gown that you have to have theirs. So that is an extra cost to that, but it is kind of nice to have that opportunity to do that. But all of our students that earn the associates will get a special pin that they wear on their cap and gown for their high school graduation that says associate's degree. So it is kind of a nice little thing that the students get to wear at their high school graduation, but it is something that I put out there. Okay, so that's kind of like the meat of most of our stuff about our classes. I know that there's going to be some of you that have some questions. I do want to talk about a couple of things real quick, and all of this pertains to students still trying to get the scores they need. I do have in here, before I pass that up, I'm sorry, on the back of this page you see some contact information for myself, Ms. Christy Wright, Ms. Corbin, and Mr. Tanner. Though they are our leads, our English and math teacher for our academy program. They were not able to be here tonight, I'm sorry. But the next page talks about how to set up your account. So once you get your student self-service, you can, if you feel good about it and you want to go for it, go ahead and follow these directions. They're pretty step-by-step to set up your student self-service account. If you don't feel like you want to navigate those waters, you can wait, and we can do that in August when your student arrives. If you are still trying to get the points needed to be into the program officially. So again, 18, and I apologize, I just looked at this. This is an old printout. If you look at this, I'm sorry, look at this at the very bottom, it says math, it says 19. Please take your pen and scratch that out. It is a 22. I apologize. I just noticed that was on here. It was an old copy. the 22 ACT math score. The college allows students to come in and take their pre-admission testing. So once you obtain your KCTCS ID number, you take that ID number with some type of identification, whether it be your permit, your driver's license, even maybe your school ID, that you can go during the time that they have available and you can take the test that you need. Now, here's the one part about it. You can take the test one time for free. The second time after that, they're going to charge you, and I think it's either $7 or $17. I apologize, I don't know exactly how much that is. But you can only take it twice. That's it. So I really try to keep the KCTCS testing as the last resort. The ACT is the one you want. So the next test in April, the deadline has far passed. So if you were trying to get your child signed up for that one, you may be able to pay the extremely ridiculous late fee to get your kid into that. But the next one after that, I don't even think there's a May test. I think it's June. So you would need to get your kid signed up for it. So if your student was just waiting on one score, you could even possibly take the July test. Possibly. Okay, but I highly encourage that the June would be the last test to get in. So because I have to get schedules created with ECTC and things like that. So just understand that we're going to do everything in our power, but these scores were not set by us. These are scores that are set by the college for anybody that wants to go. I would love to have every single one of your kids, okay, but they have to make the benchmark. Now, on a personal level, I'm not one that thinks that the ACT is going to be the mark of all success and measures. I think that your GPA is a big measure of that because I think hard work pays off. So unfortunately, that is just my little soapbox. I can't do a whole lot about it. If I could, I would. But that is the way that works. All right. There are a couple more pages in here that kind of talk a little bit about that. There are some resources on the back of this page that talk about what you can do to prepare for your child to prepare for that. Every single one of your kids currently has an account through their high school for something called TCA Prep. TCA Prep. That account, the district purchased that. If your kid does not know how to get on that, I encourage them to go to a counselor tomorrow and ask them, how do I get on TCA Prep? It is an ACT prep software that the district bought. It is a good package. It is something they can go on and just work on English or just work on reading or just work on math to help them boost their score to get what they want. Okay, now I'm not going to tell you that it's going to save them, but it is at least something. If you don't do something to try to help boost your score and you wonder why you're not getting it, that's part of the reason. So you got to do something in preparation for it. All right. The very last thing that I have on here, if you turn to the very back, that is the fall academic calendar. This is not necessarily as big of a deal for you all now, but if you can look at this calendar and think about it into your student senior year, you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like for the fall for your children. If you go online right now, you can see what the spring calendar looks like. It is made available there. Okay. So I know that's a lot of information and a lot of me talking, but I want to make sure that if you have some general questions that we can do so. Connor, go ahead and stand up here. So Connor Wilkerson is here. Connor is one of our academy students right now. He's a Central Hardin student that's in our program. He's here and he's available. So if you would like to ask questions to Connor, like you don't want to ask Mr. Robbins because he's going to give you the Mr. Robbins answer and you want a student answer to that, ask Connor. He'll be available here for questions as well. But this is what I tell you all. This program is not for everyone. I'll tell you that. Okay? If you signed up for this program just because you want to get out of your high school, because there are people in this room right now that have signed up just because they don't want to be in their high school anymore, then it's probably the wrong reason. If you are here as a student and your parent drug you here, it's probably the wrong reason. Okay? If you are a parent here and your child drug you here, that's great. Okay, you're in the right place. Because that means your kid wants this. And if your kid wants this, like me as a parent, then we do whatever we can to get our kid that, right? And so I encourage you, this is going to be a long road. It's not necessarily the easiest. It's not the hardest, but it is a long road over the next 2 years. And you're probably going to listen to your kid cry a little bit and whine and fuss and talk about a professor and be mad about it. And sometimes all they want you to do is just say, I understand. And sometimes they may just say, I need you to call Mr. Robbins. And then you're going to turn around and say, have you talked to him yet? Trust me, I want to hear from you. Great. But if your student doesn't come to me and you're calling me first, I'm going to tell your kid to come see me. And please don't take that the wrong way. But I'm all about you advocating for your kids because I'm going to advocate for them. And I'll be there to help them and pick them back up when they fall as well. But I don't want you all doing it for them. So tell them, go see somebody. Go talk to your professor. You don't like it? Go say something. And it's okay. So, because I've had professors in my office with students. And we've had some good heart-to-hearts. And I'm not telling it solves everything, but they at least understand where we're all coming from. So that's kind of my spiel on that. So I do want to open it up, and so I'll take a few questions. If you have a question that you just want to ask me by yourself, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to make myself available to that. But I do want to just open up for maybe any general questions for the group.
Mr. Robbins.
Yes.
Okay, so you said that we had to take like the Arts and Humanities course here. What if you're already enrolled in band at our home high school?
Okay, so the question is, I said you have to take an Arts and Humanities class. So being enrolled in band at your high school does qualify you at some of our schools, I think, for getting your Arts and Humanities high school credit. But part of this is also fulfilling your college transcript. And so to fulfill the college transcript, every student must have some type of humanities course. Okay, they drop the arts for whatever reason, they just call it humanities, but art or music qualifies underneath that. So we'll be taking the course then for you to qualify for your high school side, for the college side of your graduation. Okay, over here, yes sir. Yes, thank you. I do want to talk about that. You just reminded me. I'm sorry, if you could just hold off on questions one more time. Thank you, sir. This page right here, this is a very important page, okay? And I think that we did. Okay, so this page, you should be able to tear it off, okay? Or you can fill it out and send it back to me. But this is very important for the students that are trying to tell me that they need something back at their high school. They need something here at EC3, that they are not just jumping in full-fledged to EC3 Academy program. So you'll put your name on this, you'll put your high school, and so you're going to tell me, I want to take this at my high school. Okay, let's say that class is, I mentioned earlier, weightlifting. I want to take weightlifting during first trimester because I play soccer and my coach wants me to have it. Okay, put it on there. Okay, I want to take choir all 3 trimesters. Write it on there, circle all 3. I want to take whatever. Okay, if you're just saying, nope, I don't want any of that, I want to stay at EC3 and I'm going to use this afternoon time for a study hall and I'm going to use that time wisely, then you check the middle box and you say, I want it all for second, third, or first trimester, second trimester. It doesn't matter. You match it up with whatever you need to for your individual program. Now the last one on here, I need to still take foreign language. Now, I want to make sure that everyone understands this because for whatever reason, and I don't know what it is, and I'm on record for everyone to count me on this, you do not need foreign language to graduate high school in Hardin County or in Kentucky. Okay? I want to make sure everyone understands that. Why do you need foreign language in high school? Okay, it is part of the pre-college curriculum. It is part of our academic studies diploma, which is the highest diploma that we offer at Central John and North, right? Academic studies. So you're going to get your associate's degree, but not get academic studies diploma? That doesn't make sense. Finish your 2 years of foreign language, okay? If you just are dead set against the foreign language because you're just not speaking anything else, I'm not doing it, you can't force me, so be it. You can get an associate's degree and you're not going to get the academic studies diploma cord and people are going to wonder, that's kind of weird, why do you not have that? So most of you probably are in a situation now where you may even already be finishing your second year of a foreign language, right? And you're done. And you're going to say, woo, never again. Or you might say, I want more. I want year 3 or year 4. That's perfectly fine as well. You can write this on here. But understand that you do not have to have it to graduate high school. But if you want to have it, and you're looking for an alternative way to take it, some of our students do take it via Apex. It is an online learning module. Okay? It will satisfy the requirements for having your 2 years of foreign language. Okay? You can also choose, and I have some students here that choose to do it, can choose to take foreign language on the college campus. They do offer Spanish, I think they offer French, and that may be about it. Okay? So you could choose to take it over there for 2 semesters. 2 semesters, so that would be in what we consider 2 years. So you could take it in the fall and in the spring and have 2 years of foreign language completed because you're going to get 2 full credits for it. Every college class that you take that's 3 credit hours, you will get 1 high school credit for. And I didn't talk about that earlier, I apologize. Okay? But that's what this form is for. So I do like to have that back on everybody with something filled out on it. Okay? If you don't want to leave it with me today and you want to take it home and talk about it and then scan it in and email it to me, you can do that as well. That's perfectly fine. But if I don't have this and then you come to me later and say, well, why didn't I have this on my high school schedule? I'm going to say, well, you didn't turn this in. So the high schools would like for me to clear out your high school schedules as quickly as possible because we've been building the schedules. You know, you all did scheduling at the high school. And so right now, all of your requests are just sitting in there and they're messing up their numbers. So they want me to clear them out. But I can't clear them out until 2 things happen. 1, you meet all benchmarks. And 2, I have this paper on you. Okay? Next question, sorry. Yeah.
Simple question. If they make the decision now and then they change their mind at the end of like try 1, we can do that?
No.
No? Mm-mm. Not if they want to, whether they want to do like all year, all day, or they want to try engineering or something like that?
Yes, you can. I'm sorry.
No.
The question was, can they, if they want to say that they want to take classes at their high school, maybe first trimester, and then they change their mind and say, I know I was scheduled all 3 trimesters, now I changed my mind. We can make those changes down the road. I thought the question was, I want in the program, and now after first trimester, I want out. So that is very difficult. You could finish the semester and then get out. But if you finish the semester and you get out, that's Christmas, and that's middle of second trimester, and now we're sending you back to high school, and now our credits are up in the air. We will do whatever we need to do to help your student be successful, but understand is, once you sign on for a year, unless you get kicked out, and I'll talk about that in just a second, okay, then you're in, and we hope that you stay in. So how do you get kicked out? So we ask that you are trying and striving to maintain a 3.0 GPA. That is a B average. That's what we're asking for. If you cannot maintain that and you drop drastically below that, you could be asked to leave. That would not be a conversation with just me and your child. That would be an all of us conversation, and we would talk about it. I'll be honest, we have some kids that sat at a 2.7 after the first semester, and we had a conversation, and we agreed to keep them in. And they stayed in, and those kids will probably make the dean's list this semester, which is a 3.5. Sometimes we just have to have those meetings, okay? We try to have them sooner than later when grades show up, but just understand, I'm not looking to kick anybody out. That is not my goal. My goal is to keep everybody, but I got to make sure that it's for the betterment of the student at the end. So I'm sorry, I forgot that part. So next question here. Yes?
Okay, on the foreign language, so if you've already had the 2 years, so you took a freshman and a sophomore, and he still wants to take 2 more years, so would you put on here, he's already got his requirement, but he wants to continue in that?
Absolutely. Yeah, so the question is, we finished our 2 years of foreign language, we want year 3 and year 4. Write that on here as a course that you're requesting to continue to take. Now, I do say this, I want to make sure that everyone understands this. Sometimes those courses back at your high school are only offered during a certain time. So if that class is only offered at your home high school during first period, we're in a trouble spot. Our classes are in the morning during what we would consider first, second, and third period. So that means the class would have to be offered at your high school during 4th and 5th. So we have that question pop up a lot, not with foreign language necessarily always, but sometimes with band. Because the band class that the band teacher wants them in is second period. Well, every band director that I've talked with and we've worked with has made an adjustment for those kids to take band a different period so they can stay in. So if anybody tries to say you can't do band or ROTC or do any of this to be in the academy program, that's a lie. We've done everything to make it work. Yes?
With the 2 different start dates, do you have an estimated time of when that first tuition bill would be due?
Yeah, so the first tuition bill will actually be due before classes ever start, but it's not really due. So let me back that up. So ECTC will bill you as soon as we register your kids for classes, and we will register your child for classes sometime this summer. We will put them in all their classes. So as soon as that happens, your student will probably start getting emails that say, pay your bill. If you don't pay your bill by this date, you're going to be dropped from your classes. You better pay your bill. You better pay. They'll keep doing that. Understand, because they are a high school student, they are undroppable for tuition. Okay? So we work with the college. The college has to do a lot of hand-touching schedules, have hand-touching bills. They have to go into every one of them and take it down to 1/3 tuition. And then they have to apply any scholarships that are coming from Keys. And so what I tell parents is, you can figure up that the cost of the classes right now, today, unless they change the tuition, is about $57 per credit hour. $57 per credit hour. So if you multiply that out by 15, you get the roundabout financial contribution that you're going to need to make. But some classes have online content that we can't discount and they won't discount, and you have to pay that as well. We will provide every physical textbook that your student needs. We provide it as a district. But if it's an online textbook, the district can't recover it. So you need to understand that the district is not going to pay for that textbook that they're never going to see. So that is sometimes the responsibility of the family for that, okay? But you can figure out what the bill is, and you can start making payments come August if you wanted to. If you overpay, they'll take it, okay? They will give you your money back, but probably not till the end of the semester, okay, once they know that all bills have been finalized and they're building up to the next one. So we do have some families that see it and they say, oh, here's my bill, fully pay it. If you have the luxury to do so, go for it. They'll mail you a check later, okay, or they'll hold it and then they'll apply it to your next semester. But yeah, now some people may be asking about this, and where's Miss Christian? So some people may ask about, well, can I use like this money that we've set aside? You can now, okay? They used to not let you, but you need to work out with your financial people on how to have access to that money. Because your kid is in a dual credit approved college program, you could start using that money. That's your choice. I don't make those decisions for you. But before they were always saying no, but thank you, Ms. Christian, she did some research on that, and they will let you. So that is some great news for a lot of people. Now, here's the last part, okay? The last part. So far, our district has found a way through some outside contributions to help students that meet a financial need. So I believe, and I'm saying this as I believe, that our district will try to do that again. I just don't make a guarantee with that. So I say that because I think, we never want to eliminate students from a program because there's a financial hardship. So understand that we're doing everything in our power to continue to make that possible for our students. So that we're hoping that should be made available. Students that can receive that or are eligible to receive that will be notified. Yes, sir.
Is the full bill due in August?
The full bill is not due in August. So we ask that you do your best to try to pay it off before the next semester starts. So again, because the college takes so long to make adjustments and do those types of things, like my kid is in the program right now. I just got the final bill a week or so ago. So it was final, and I decided to go ahead and pay it then. So, but they started classes in January, and they just finally got it fixed. So it takes a little bit. So as long as you're patient, then you can wait, and then you'll see the final dollar sign again when your student opens up their financial student self-service and see it, and then you can pay it online, or you can even take a check to their business office. So any other questions? Yes?
With the exception of the FYE class, are all of the junior year classes taught by an in-person professor?
That's a great question. So the question is, are all the classes taught by in-person professors? No, they are not. So we try to balance our schedule as kind of how the kids will have normal college. Some of you all probably know you've taken online classes. I took online classes even, back, probably some of my graduate courses. I didn't have as many undergrad. I guess they weren't doing that as much as then. But now it typically is a blend. So our students typically have 4 face-to-face classes and 1 online class. Now, when they go into their senior year, we allow them to have some flexibility in it. We just tell them to keep 50% of their schedule face-to-face if at all possible. It's just for a greater success. So, but no, not all of the classes are direct professor in the room.
Specifically, I was worried about the science classes.
Yeah, so we have had some students take science classes with a online professor, and then the lab has a face-to-face professor. We've had some of that. We've had some, like I have several juniors right now that actually go over on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're taking one of their chemistry classes, and so they take that in the afternoon. So where they might have had free time in the afternoon, they're taking their chemistry class on campus. So they drive over, or we've took them over in our van, and they take classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays over there. And so those students have already worked out with those professors because of their Hardin County School spring break. They've worked those things out with their professors. So just understand that they know the schedule that our juniors are on, and so they work with them. Okay.
To follow up on that, the sciences possibly or all are online?
There's a possibility. There's a possibility, but we've had pretty good success with it. So it's kind of hard. So I'd say this is that, we in our district only have so many teachers that can teach the dual credit science that our college will approve. So even at Central Hardin High School, we had a dual credit chemistry teacher, but she retired. And so when she retired, now those students at Central Hardin no longer had dual credit chemistry available. And so that happens at times. So we do our best for them to try to find face-to-face professors for us, but we're still at the mercy of the college. So if we feel like that the class is not successful online, then we would take it out. But we haven't found that it hasn't been unsuccessful. So, yes?
Will the online class be taken at home, or are they going to be doing the online class here?
Both. So they use their free time. So if they're here in the afternoons, they may be working on that. If they had it during a time that they didn't have a class in the mornings, they may work on that. They might have to work on it both places, but it's an online class, so they work on it every free minute they can get. Yes?
So for the foreign class, going back to the foreign, if he decides to take it at EC3, the Spanish, the 3 and 4, and I think you answered this before, that you will transport him to there to take it?
Yeah, so we do our best to try to transport. We do have a van here now, so we try our best to transport students back and forth. We do have a walkway that's cut out the back here where students, now that the weather's probably getting a little nicer, some students will walk and go in pairs and things like that over. But yeah, we do our best to try to transport students when we can, but it's just not a guarantee every time that we can transport them.
Okay.
So, any other questions for the group? Yes, ma'am.
What happens on Fridays when they're not in class?
Great, yeah. Nothing. They do nothing all day. No, I'm just kidding. No, so Fridays are collab days. They do sit together. They work a lot. But it is a great day for them to catch up. Because their classes only meet for an hour and 15 minutes on 2 days a week, they probably have another 3 hours of work that they probably need to do. Whether it's watch videos that the teachers posted online, or read chapters, or take a quiz, or work on a project that's coming up. They use that time to work on classwork. So, there are times, I think during the day, and Connor would probably tell you that he has some free time, but he's worked ahead and got things caught up, and so he has some free time. And sometimes it's just just to relax a little bit. But we encourage them to use all their time wisely, but we can't police it all the time. So, yes, sir.
Are they supervised during the time, or just kind of hanging out?
They're kind of hanging out a lot. I mean, so I say the supervision happens all the time. I probably put in 12 to 15,000 steps a day. I'm all over the building all the time. I have 2 co-teachers that are here, that they're walking the building a lot. So they're never just sitting by themselves and no one has a clue what's going on. We see they're out. They're in common space a lot of times. We do have some space and rooms that they go into and they work in study groups. And so we have cameras all over the building. So it is a unsupervised supervision, I'll say in that. But we do that because, again, these are our students that we're saying, you've chose this program, you mess up, you can leave pretty quick. And I hate to have a student have to be kicked out of the program and you as a parent have to drop all the courses. But if they make a poor decision that violates a district policy, they're gone. There's no questions about it. So, yes, sir.
Connor, you got a lot of free time? It depends, honestly. I mean, like you said, if you catch up on your work and you do everything in time, I usually, like what I do on Fridays is during the mornings I work till about maybe 11:45, I eat lunch and then I do nothing for like an hour and a half. And I, for like a break, because can't work all the time, right brain. And then I finish up some stuff, spruce up, read over some stuff last minute, make sure I got everything right. And that's basically every Friday for me.
You go back to the high school?
I did first and second trimester, but I got German 2A and 2B done, so I don't know.
Yeah, so Connor went back, he was saying during first and second trimester when he took his foreign language, he went back and took it in the afternoon as a face-to-face class. You can choose to do that, and then now he uses his time here. So again, it's up to the kids what they want to do. We give them the options to take it, and so that's what the program is about. It's about the opportunity. Yes?
Are we allowed to go off campus for lunch?
No. No, yeah, so that is a question that kids ask all the time. Can I leave for lunch? No, you cannot. However, I'll tell you this. So because of the way that we do operate and with a lot of things, and you're not going to find this anywhere else, okay, we do allow students to order food in. And so we do have students at this food for your mood and those types of things. And so on occasion, we do have some students, that will order some food in. And, I don't know where they get all their money. I wish I had it. But, yeah, so they might, get together and order a pizza, 4 or 5 kids and share a pizza. That's fine. We do allow that every once in a while for them to do it and, clean up your mess, take care of it. And our students have been pretty responsible for those types of things. So, yeah, again, we try to give them the college feel while keeping our hands on their shoulders and still walking them through college life. So we do eliminate some of the, I think, barriers or whatever you want to call them that they were traditionally used to in high school. So we do free them up a little bit, but you can't leave. Now, your senior year, that's different, right? You go and come as you please. So, yes, sir.
Are we restricted to purchasing textbooks from this website only, or do we order them where we can find them?
No, and I'll be honest, that I probably should have blacked that out on there. So textbook purchases, again, any physical textbook that your student needs for this program will be taken care of by the Hardin County School District. Every textbook. If it is an online textbook that's what the professor chose for that class, then we can't do anything about it. That textbook will show up on their Blackboard, and you probably will have a fee attached to their bill. We can't do anything about that. Now, that goes for their senior year as well. We continue to pick up the textbook purchase for our students their senior year for physical textbooks. This week, we actually work with the bookstore over there. We have the bookstore collect all the books. They pick them up with their ID. At the end of the semester, they return those books. If they don't return them, we're going to hold their diploma. Those types of things. So our district wants to, again, try to eliminate the barriers to college success, and sometimes that is financially with books. So, okay, one more question.
When are you going to do the schedules?
So we're going to work on schedules. We are doing schedules right now for our juniors that will be seniors. We will probably start working on schedules as soon as we get back from spring break. So it's hard for me to do all of the schedules because we try to put these students in cohorts of groups and things like that. We mix up Central, John, and North, and we put them in similar classes and things like that. But I need to have a better number of where we're at. So I'm really waiting on the last ACT scores to be sent to me, and then hopefully I'll get the April ACT scores, and we can make some of those final decisions. So, okay. If there are no more questions as a group, again, I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be here, and I will take your questions. And it's 6:39, so I got you all out in time. So thank you all for coming.